The rent reform initiative is quite encouraging. From the synopsis that we've heard so far, I think this is going to resolve a lot of conflicts between landlords and tenants. The aim of government is to improve landlord-tenant relationship, and this is a right step in a good direction that the rent control department is looking at. I fully endorse this initiative, and I encourage other stakeholders to also embrace it wholeheartedly. On behalf of the Lands Commission, we wholly accept and give our full support to this rent reform initiative. Thank you very much.
I'm ACFO to David Asan Dako, and I've gone through the rent control document, and I think that it's a very good document, and we have studied it. And we know it's, if implemented, it will help our rent, our residential issues, and we are also prepared to support the rent control department to carry out the mandate and order stipulated in the document, and I think it will well with all of us. Thank you.
Hello, inhabitants of the Western region and particularly the Sekondi Takoradi metropolis. My name is Professor Eric Busamati Jr., Dean of Student Affairs of the Takoradi Technical University. I endorse the move by the Rent Control of the Republic to engage owners of various hostels within our environs as a university. This move aims to elicit the highest quality of services rendered to our students, their safety and value for money. So we would render all our support to the rent control to ensure that they succeed in this venture. And once they do that, our students will be one of the biggest beneficiaries within the metropolis. God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong.
So my name is Kingsley Nanajekom. I'm with the Office of the Attorney General in the Western Region. I'm a state attorney. And we received a request from the Rent Control Department on measures to enforce, among other things, the 6 months rent payment as required under the Rent Act 220, and also how to protect the interests of the landlords and tenants in the Western region. Well, this is an issue that cuts across the entire nation, and it's very important that we address these issues. Our rental system in Ghana is not the best. It's not the best because there is lack of data on vacant homes or apartments or houses, and it also allows for other people to take advantage of tenants. You know, you will have a situation where, and I use myself as an example, where I was posted here from Accra, the Accra office, to the Western region, and I have to go around looking for houses, you know, looking for a place to rent. It was difficult, and each agent will charge you before taking you to look at a place to rent, you know, and you are charged before you even see the property, only to be dissatisfied with what you are shown, but the money has already been paid for. You don't get your money back when you are dissatisfied with it. They give you a promise that, oh, once you pay it, and they will show you a number of houses, but they have just one or two, and they showed you all, you know. But where there is a clear data, as the law even mandates landlords so to do, to submit data of all vacant houses and even their agreement entered into with tenants, with the rent control department, when it is enforced, it will be helpful. Because assuming I just work in the region and I'm looking for a place, as I came into the region and I was looking for a place to rent, Knowing that there is data on all vacant houses in the region, with rent control department, I can simply walk to rent control department. If there is a fee to be paid, fine, we make that payment, and they show you all the houses, pictures, locations, and the amount involved. And when this happens, you don't even have to deal with landlords. You don't even need these guru boys and agents anymore, because the information is rightly available for you to now decide right there at the rent control office which area you want to go to. You may be considering an area closer to market, or closer to church, or closer to your workplace. So which area you want to go to, and then what number of rooms you are looking for, and all of that. And because the data is clearly with the rent control department, you can be rest assured that you are not dealing with some fraudsters or some scammers, which most people have experienced over the years. So that is one important thing. Because, and another thing is, with the AG's office, one of our common challenges, it comes to finding sureties and even accused persons, especially when they are granted bails. Because when they are granted bails, one of the conditions that the law spells out in the grant of bail is that the person have a specific place of abode, or a place the person is staying. So when there are clear guidelines on data of where each person is staying in the region, be it an accused person, as the circumstance may come, or a surety, then it becomes very, very easy. Because say a person now stands as surety for an accused person in a case, the accused person chance bail, you are looking for the surety, you can just follow on rent control. This is the information of the surety. You come with a warrant from the court, or a process from the court to rent control, that you need this information on this particular person. Because the system will now be that you cannot rent a place without giving out some information, like your passport if you're a foreigner, or your Ghana card if you're a Ghanaian, or a voter's ID card or driver's license, to the rent control department. Because all these informations are in a digital system. So wherever you move to, you will not be able to even go into a hotel, or you'll not be able to leave the country, you will not be able to rent any other place, because wherever you go to, each apartment, each house is under the management of the rent control department, and not just a landlord. And the landlords are also not allowed to rent a place to people. When they do so, they have to submit every data to rent control department. So regardless of wherever a surety or an accused person is moving to, we can find everybody. It makes the system easy, and it works, and it makes investigation very fast for all of us. So when that system of keeping data, submitting data is put in place, it will help the system a lot. It will have far-reaching positive consequences for the country. Yeah. So I would also suggest that it becomes compulsory. Yes, the law has stated it, but what is the punishment if the landlord does not submit those data or information? There should be clear punishment, and when the punishments are set in place, then the AG's office, which has the mandate to prosecute under Article 88, will now either take on prosecution by itself, or will give fiat to either officers of the rent control department or the police, whichever department the AG will deem fit, to prosecute landlords and tenants who fall foul of these laws and guidelines.
Well, I am Blow Sumanguru Malfred. I am the quantity surveyor for the Western Zone in State Housing Company, and we are in charge of both Central, Western, and Western North regions. And this morning we had the privilege of hosting our brother, our friend Courage, who came around from rent control, and indeed we had a very fruitful deliberations, and we are grateful that he came around for us to discuss about the issues of rent, challenge within the region. And State Housing, as he came around, we were supposed to provide what we could do to also help ameliorate the issue of rent and rental units within the region. And so from our perspective, we have tried to suggest a few things that if we think that we have been able or we are able to do those things, it will help to ease the pressure on the citizens of the region. And so one of the things that we have suggested is that state housing, we have land in some parts of the city. So for example, there is a stretch of land from Ifyokuma bus stop going all the way to the Cocoa Villa area. That stretch is for state housing company. And we have some few housing units there. Those housing units are meant for rental purposes. They've not been sold out to individuals, but they have been used for rent. And so we are saying that if it is feasible, we can have a private, public partnership that we can use to raise the status of this area. So for example, if we have, say, high-rise buildings, about a 4-story building in blocks, like the slate flats, those houses will have so many rooms available, to be given out for rent to individuals who are interested. As the land stands right now, there are a few houses on the land, but those houses, don't have enough space, because the space in the air is open and is free. So if we are able to raise those houses, it will help to provide adequate housing facilities for our fellow compatriots within the region. So we are saying that if the coordinating council or the Minister for Works and Housing is able to help us to secure some level of private investment that can partner with state housing company, we will be able to achieve a lot, in terms of helping our colleagues get, nice places for rent. That is one aspect of it. The second thing we are also suggesting is that the issue of land acquisition, it still remains a challenge within the region. And so if there is an occasion where you are able to meet with the chiefs within the region, we are only saying that talk to them. Let them help state housing company to acquire land. If we have enough land and enough land banks, then we will be able to build houses that can be used, to accommodate as many people as possible. It is going to be in twofold. So for example, if a customer buys a house and the house is affordable, then when he's giving it out for rent, it will also be given out at an affordable price. And so we are asking for land from the chief. They should try and help us to acquire as much land as possible. And that is the second point we are suggesting to those who are concerned about the issue of rental, challenge within the region. If you can help us in that direction, we can guarantee you that we will do our best to provide good houses. And the last but not the least part of it is that we also have houses within the region or within the city. We have estates like South Ifyokuma Estate, Anaji Estate, Keten Estate, Kwekuma Estate, Adiembra Estate, Ituma Estate. All those estates are for state housing company. And so those clients who are there, they are our clients. And the lands that have been sold to them, they were sold on a leasehold basis. So it means that state housing company always has a stake in those facilities. And so we are saying that if there are issues within the rental arrangement, state housing can also come in to help the rent control to resolve some of those issues that are within our catchment area. And so these are the few things that we are suggesting to rent control and see how best we can work together as a unit and to synergize our efforts in achieving the better goals for each and every one of ourselves. So once again, we are grateful for the opportunity and we are always available to working together with you. Thank you.
My name is Joseph Boatin, Area Director, Ghana Revenue Authority for Western, North and Central Region. Ghana stands to gain a lot from the rent, looking at the development that is taking place. But we have to take a second look at the cooperation between Ghana Revenue Authority, rent control, real estate development, and then the district assembly about the modalities and procedure that can be used to facilitate the rent control. Ghana Revenue Authority is prepared to put our expertise at the disposal, and anytime we are ready, we are prepared to cooperate with them. We have done it before, and we have all the database. So once we are ready, then we all join hands and then you put it up.
I'm John Bedu, the Regional Commercial Manager for Western Region. This engagement with stakeholders by Rent Control Department is welcoming, because looking at the renting space in Ghana here, a lot of landlords, landladies are exploiting tenants, and some tenants too most often give their landlords and landladies a lot of problems. And I think the department has a lot to do. So it's good they have taken the initiative to engage stakeholders for ideas to make the renting space very convenient and comfortable to both landlords, landladies, and tenants. In fact, we as Ghana Water, we serve our customers, we distribute water to our customers and bill them at demand based on the appropriate tariff given by PULC. Then we serve our customers bills at the end of the month for them to pay. But as to the sharing of the bills in the houses, especially the compound houses, it's not our responsibility, and we don't have any specific criteria for them to share. But what I can offer or I can suggest at the moment is that the landlords can let whoever is in charge of the water bill share it per head instead of per room, because it's human beings who uses the water. So if a family of 5 and a family of 2 are to share the bill, it should be proportionately 2 against 5, not equal proportion. That is that.
Public. I mean, the issues surrounding the rental housing sector are many. And when you come to think about the fact that majority of our people are in that space, I mean, they rent houses, for their abode. And to have a situation like we have it now, where it's almost like the area is not properly regulated, it's a challenge. It's a huge challenge. I mean, both for those who have the properties to rent, and then for those who need those places, as their places of abode. And so it's important that some sanity is brought into that area, so that we can have a win-win situation for both the property owners and then the tenants, prospective tenants, all those in that area, because we know the housing deficit, and that is the main reason why we see charges and in rent, and it's almost like, I mean, we cannot do anything about it, because I mean, the demand really is far, 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 above the supply, what is available to serve, those who need it. So I think that it's important that we continue to have this discussion to see how we're able to bring improvement in that area. I'm very excited that we are having this discussion, And I want to assure you that I'm ever ready to, help your office to see how we can do something in the region. Because it's a matter of huge concern to many, to many. Today, anybody seeking to rent his or her place has the latitude to just come up with any charge, any figure as in rent that he or she feels that can be charged, to the prospective tenant. So it's my house. I mean, I built my house. I decide what to do. Yes, to a very large extent, it's true. You own your property, but we cannot have a situation where we have this, the property owners have this laxity. They have this huge opportunity to do basically whatever they want, charge any rent that they feel okay, and then sometimes like 2 years, what do you call it, deposit, take it or leave it. It's all because of the shortage in the system. Because demand is far over above what is available. So um, even though we've had these challenges for some time, I think that we must pause, look at the system again, like you have indicated, uh, see what can be done to correct some of the wrongs there. I'll call them, and bring some relief to those who are looking for places to rent, so that they know that, I mean, this is it. I mean, when I decide to rent a place, this is the process to go through. My interest is protected. I'm not abused. I'm not overcharged. And then, I mean, we have instances where a landlord gets up and says that, I'm giving you up to, end of this month. You must leave my property, and it becomes very, very um, um, problematic. It becomes a huge challenge for the tenant to now go around looking for a new place when he or she is not even prepared, and doesn't have anything to go pay for a deposit, because this new place that is going to look out for will also demand something, So there's really something to be done in that area, and I'll be ready, when you are ready for us to see what can be done in the Western region. If we can start something here, that would be, a model for others to also follow, then that should be fine. By all means, there's something to be done, and it must be done, because both the landlord and the tenant need help. They all need help, So the issues, the processes that you mentioned as that which either the tenant or the landlord has to go through to ensure that they are both protected, is something that we should look at. I mean, the registration of property that are meant for rental, and all the things that the landlord will have to go through with you, so that at least they have their property registered. You go there, you check whether this is a place that can be rented out. Looking at all the things you need to look out for, and then the other issue about how much is the rent is also very important, that we have a certain way of deciding how much is charged. It's important, so that we take out arbitrariness of the situation we have now, where it's almost like, I mean, any figure goes as long as because I mean, it's the situation is take it or leave it, because there are other people in line anyway. So if you don't take it, somebody else will come for it. So that must also be stemmed. And then how long, how many years, how many months deposit will have to be paid, or they call it advance. It's also a thorny issue. I mean, a young man finish university, have your first job, posted from say Accra to Takra, they have to rent a place, and then you are told that they have to, put down 2 years advance, and this is how many years gross salary, of this individual, not to talk of even the net, and this person is groping, moving from place to place, finding sometimes before they even take their first salary, they have to go looking for a loan, to just pay for 2 years advance for, for rent. And it's disheartening. And so I'm happy for this conversation, that we'll continue to, put in more effort to see how we can bring sanity into the system, as I earlier indicated, so that if it's through advocacy, public engagement, anything we need to do to bridge the gap, to bring the prospective tenants and the landlords together to understand their responsibilities, it will be good for all of us, so that the landlord knows that these are my limits. This is the process I need to go through to put my property on rental. Otherwise, you don't just get up any day and say that, look, I'm vacating my room, I'm going to rent it out. I think that if we're able to ensure that these processes that you have highlighted are followed through, I think that there will be some relief for both the tenant and the landlord in that space. And I'm ever ready to support you to do that. I mean, ever ready, because I was once a tenant. I know how it feels, and many more who are coming on stream who will soon be tenants. And if we're able to do well, if we're able to carry through with, what you have proposed, we should be somewhere with it. Should be in a good place where it will no longer be too burdensome for anybody who is seeking to rent a place. And then, of course, on the side of the landlord, they will also be assured that when they go through the process, I mean, their interest will also be secured in a way, because the tenant would have signed tenancy agreement that binds him or her to some responsibilities, that they will live that property well, they'll be responsible, they'll keep the place. If there's anything that becomes contentious, brings disagreement, you'll be the arbiter. They can come to you and have it resolved. These are things that we should continue to discuss, so that we come to a place where we are all happy that we've made progress, because it's been many, many, many years that we've had this challenge. It appears that we're always going around in circles trying to see what we can do. But I mean, at times that tenants who have issues come to you and it's like, oh, this is the process, this is the law. You are not supposed to pay for 2 years advance. I mean, in our books, this is it. But practically, that is not what happens. And so occasionally we hear you speak on radio and some public spaces about, okay, this is it. I mean, this is how landlords are supposed to conduct themselves, and as tenant, you are not supposed to pay this high amount. You don't have to pay. But you said 6 months. Is it 6 months as of now? But hey, that is not what is happening. So the regulatory side of things, as a regulator, I think that there's a lot you also need to do. And I believe that is why you have come up with all of this, and you are seeking for my support, the support of the ICC, to see how we can partner and to get some of these things done. And I'm happy for us to do that, so that ultimately we can bring some relief, to tenants and those who are going to be tenants not long from now. The system will be seen to be properly regulated. I think that it will be of great benefit to everybody. So thank you for coming. I hope that we'll continue to engage to see through with this, make sure that all the things you have proposed, can be, done, so that people will be happy. I'm sure that people will be interested for this conversation to be had in the public space, whether through, I don't know what mode of engagement you are thinking, but whatever it is that will bring people together to understand, they need to, have a certain system working, that is reliable, that is helpful, that brings relief. I think that it will be worth our while to do. And you, as the lead institution, should I would say, be up and doing, lead the way, and then the rest of us will support you, because it's a very important area that we need to tackle, and it will be good for all of us to commit to doing that for the benefit of the larger society. So thank you for coming in.